I'm successfully 3 books into the King James Version of the Christian Holy Bible. And in keeping with how I've treated the past 2 books, I'd like to share my thoughts about how reading the Bible is affecting me in a segment I'm calling, Is the Non-Believer a Believer Yet?
Time to believe.
Leviticus was tough for more than one reason. 1, it's dry.
Leviticus consists mainly of descriptions of rituals. At times it was easy to get caught up in the repetitive nature of it, but sometimes the rituals tell their own story.
You learn a lot about a society from reading about its laws. Part of the benefits of being the non-believer is that I get to dodge the unfortunate aspects of both sides. Nothing sticks. But I tried my best to understand both where the Bible is coming from, where its detractors are coming from, and where its translators might have gotten something wrong. Not because I have a point to prove, but it feels like I'm doing my due diligence. And I think I've done pretty well so far. I've had the work of many scholars, sometimes their life's work, to read from and consider, still all from a modern, very separated point of view. So, with all this in mind, am I becoming slowly turned towards religion? The answer is complicated. When I read the Bible, I don't feel like I'm reading a holy text. I feel like I'm reading a lesson plan for living. Do you want to do something? Here are the ways you can mess up. Here are the ways you can succeed. The rituals play out like behavioral conditioning to teach a generation of slaves how to find meaning in their life. God, as a character in the Bible, so to speak, grafts the polytheistic sacrificial cults of Egypt onto a monotheistic version that the Israelites will understand. Maybe you can call that which is done well for the betterment or good of humanity holy. But I feel like my stance is closer to what I heard author and religious scholar Karen Armstrong explain in her TED Talk, My Wish, A Charter for Compassion. Not that I agree with everything that she says, but more on that later, or never. Religion is about behaving differently. Instead of deciding whether or not you believe in God, first, you do something. You behave in a committed way. And then you begin to understand the truths of religion. Religious doctrines are meant to be summons to action. You only understand them when you put them into practice. Strong words coming from someone who used to be a nun. Karen Armstrong argues for action as faith, rather than mere belief. You can study like a rabbinic scholar for years, but living life gives the words their context. I think this is something that Leviticus is trying to communicate in its plodding, regimented way. And I specifically use the word regimented. The heart of Leviticus is regimen. It's literally it's a list of laws. One of my good friends, John, told me, working out is just movement. So simple, kind of blew my mind. It's like a Zen teaching. I was like, man, I need to work out. I don't know what to do. He's like, dude, it's just movement. Just move your body a lot. Nietzsche said in Human All Too Human that the good men are a caste. The bad men are a multitude, like particles of dust. He's right in more ways than one. Bad men don't contribute to each other. They pile on top of each other. With a little wind, they blow away. How does dust form? When there's no movement. The successful men of the Bible, for the most part, manage herds of cattle. That's what they do. If they're wise, they hire and manage people to tend to them. But someone might want to steal your cattle. You need to hire people to protect the people you hired to tend the cattle. Now, you and your wife, and maybe your other wife, and all of your children want to live in another city. At this point, you have a small army encampment traveling with you. But what happens when your children have children? And everybody lives in hundreds of houses, and all of a sudden you build a wall and a gate. That's a city. What's more than one city? A kingdom. That's movement. The nature of evil is slowness, dust, slowly collecting. Not washing a dish doesn't seem evil, but don't wash it for a week. Bugs appear. Filth is created. Remember in Genesis, in times of peace, evil creepeth sin. Action shakes off the dust and creates opportunity. Action comes from movement. Routine guarantees movement.
You can understand the words, but understanding words without understanding life is not knowledge. Leviticus taught me that.
I may not be religious yet, or ever, but I am learning from the Bible. Take that for what you will, and we'll see how this journey continues. Joineth me.